Okay, your first welcome into Texas. There is a cost to living here, and it comes in the form of a sales tax sometimes. If you're coming from Oregon or some other states that doesn't have a sales tax.
We don't know why you would be.
Well, no, it's phenomenal. If I'm buying something expensive, I'd love to buy it when I'm in Oregon. Yeah, save well.
Nike.
Just
do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there, if I go and spend $5,000 on some item, I get it for $5,000. Whereas Texas, we have a sales tax, 8.25%.
8.25%.
But then again, you don't have to live in Oregon. You're in Texas,
You don't,
so
and why would you?
I'll pay that tax anytime.
I'll pay it all day long. So we are in the big old state of Texas. So not only do we have sales tax, we do have property taxes as well.
Okay.
But did you say we didn't have any state income tax? Did we already cover that? Mm-mm. So we do have property taxes, but we have no state income tax. And the property taxes are going to differ based on where you are in Lubbock, Texas in general, but Lubbock, anywhere between 2.25 to 2.75%. Just about.
Good range.
That's a good range.
Depending on your circumstance, let's say you're retired, you're wanting to come to Lubbock, we can shop in different areas there. Keep those taxes lower. If you're coming, you got kiddos, you want some great schooling, great sports, we may shop in a couple other that may have a little bit higher property tax, but it's always a trade-off. You're getting an awesome school, you got to pay a little bit more for it.
Amen. Okay, enough with boring taxes. Let's talk about gasoline, right? Gasoline, I know I've talked to some people from like Nevada and California, and their gas prices are probably $1.50 higher than ours right now.
Mm-hmm. Where are we
As of mid-December 2021, pardon me, we're at like what, $2.75 a gallon? $3? I'm at like $3 a gallon, I think.
I paid $2.73 yesterday.
Yeah, like $2.75 to $3 a gallon. I
haven't seen $3 a gallon unless you're driving diesel. Of course, that's always a little more expensive. But I think a safe range where it's kind of hung out since the change in presidency and all the change in, even since COVID, we're kind of hanging out between $2.50, $2.75. There's times where we'll dip down to $2.25, and I'm filling up barrels at my house.
Well, Jade and I are both very special cases. Me being, because I'm single, I have no obligations except to my dog. And I only take care of myself. So I also don't buy groceries. I only eat out every meal. So I probably cannot give us an accurate representation of what groceries are going to cost here, but Jaden may be able to ballpark it a little bit more than me. Maybe not.
No. Okay, so although this may vary a little bit because it's what you eat, how many people you're feeding, but we're just going to go with a general 4-person family. It's going to cost you $200 to $250 a week. Call it $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
And that depends. Are we eating Cheetos and bean dip? Or are we eating grass-fed, no GMOs?
Together?
I don't know.
That's disgusting.
It just depends. I mean, some stuff is more expensive, but I think
Takis?
for a basis anywhere from $200 to $250 a week, feeding a family of 4, you're gonna have plenty. No one's going hungry.
We're not counting alcohol in groceries. If you like drinking, that's not in. We can make a separate subset for that because I know for me it's like whoosh, poof. That's way more than I'd ever spend on groceries. So
you're on a liquid diet mostly.
Yeah, liquid diet.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's get into the nitty gritty. Bills.
All right. So I pulled my bills, and of course I'm gonna go utilities for my house.
Straight up utilities. Give me the straight up utes.
Okay. Total last month $452. So the breakdown on that, my gas, and we are in December now, so I am heating my house. My gas is at $55 a month.
Which makes sense. That's probably higher because we're in December. It's a little bit colder, even though this year it's been a lot hotter than most years. So, and we know that.
Your range there is going to be anywhere from 30. If I'm in the summer, it'll drop down to 30 to 55.
Depends, how many
100%.
rooms you got,
100%.
how big your house is.
The next one, I want to put an asterisk by this one because it is my water bill. I watered so much this past month.
Yep, not only does Jaden water, he goes out, he cares about his lawn so much, he goes out there with those shoes with the spikes on the bottom of them and aerates his lawn. So this guy really cares about his yard.
He's not lying. So I was giving it probably honestly a little bit too much water, but my water bill came out to $277, which is high.
That's very high.
Now I'll say now I have turned my sprinklers off now, I expect my bill will come back to that 150 to 175 range.
Yep, normal range.
Electricity.
And who's providing this for you, Jaden?
So
because I don't pay my bills or my taxes.
So I'm out in Wolforth. So my water comes from the city of Wolforth. Atmos is going to be available over most of the South Plains.
Yep.
So Atmos is going to be a good standard. Your water may vary depending on where you are. And then I'm glad you brought that up because my next one is electricity.
Oh.
There's a couple here. You have Lubbock Power and Light LP&L.
Yeah.
You have Spec South Plains Electric Co-op. That's my favorite. That's who I have. And I'll say Spec with just one.
Cool.
So I paid $120 for electricity last month, which I think is pretty reasonable.
That's
I came
really
from
reasonable.
before I moved out to Wolford, I lived out in Tech Terrace, which I'm on LP&L. Older house built in the early 40s.
Yeah.
Insulation wasn't great, and of course it's a little bit more expensive if you're heating that.
Insurance.
So Spec, you're looking to pay $120, and I will say, just not to sugarcoat it, if you're going to be in LP&L, you're going to pay a little bit more. But I think, for an average family, utilities you're looking anywhere from $500 to $750.
Yeah.
If you're going wild, you get up to $750.
Right.
But
Average family, that'd be 1-2 kids. 4 people.
families are expensive.
Yeah, families are expensive. Think before you have kids, everybody. As someone who is not married or does not have kids myself, I'm having a good time. We didn't discuss this last time, and you're going to do this, and we thought, oh, well, why did we not talk about this? Is landscaping. I think in the summer, it's probably $40 a week to have a guy come by and trim your yard. Around there, that's probably the average market. And it depends because in West Texas, a lot of people have very deserty kind of rocks are very popular. So a lot of people don't even have
Zero-scape.
Zero-scape.
Zero with an X.
That's how we do it. Even I know people who have turf.
Yeah.
Now, why you would have turf, I don't know. But some
Low
people
maintenance.
do. Yeah, low maintenance. But landscaping here can differ from the grass. Is what grass we have? Bermuda?
A lot of Bermuda and fescue.
Yep. Not a lot of very strong, tall, growing grass. So just make sure it's not getting gray, upkeep, general kind of jazz like that.
Gray would be
Gray,
wild.
brown. My lawn's gray. What? So this is a big animal right here. Housing.
Okay.
Which we are real estate agents. We do hope you buy a house. But if you don't, we don't care either. We'd love to get to know you either way. So in real estate, I'm sure y'all are aware, it appreciates. Last year, homes this year cost more than they did last year, by and large. And the market here is pretty stable and it's been growing a lot. So we have seen, even since 10 months ago, home prices have gone up.
Yeah.
So that's why we did want to make an updated cost of living video to kind of tell you guys what the deal is and what's happening. So we actually have our little calculators out right now.
Yeah.
We're going to run some numbers for you. So let's say you're buying a $150,000 house using a conventional loan, 10% down at a 3.5% interest rate over 30 years. It includes taxes and insurance. Your monthly payment's going to come to about $1,000 a month. You're going to need to bring around $21,000 to closing. That's going to factor in your down payment and closing costs and all that stuff. But your monthly payment's going to be around $1,000, and that's for a $150,000 house, which is now on the lower end here.
Yeah.
Now, definitely.
Note though, we did it as a conventional loan, 10%
Yep, conventional
down,
loan, 10% down. So the less you put down, obviously, the more your payment's going to be every month.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Okay, to keep to Andrew's point, give you another kind of range. If you're shopping at the 200,000 mark, again, we'll keep all the variables the same because, of course, you can adjust your amount down to kind of get that payment to rise or fall. But we're just keeping kind of all the same. So at $200,000. 10% down, that same 3.5% interest rate, you're going to look to spend about $1,400 a month to live in about a $200,000 house.
According to market statistics, believe it or not, the average home price in Lubbock now is around $250,000.
Okay.
So we're going to do the most efficient way of doing this, the least money out of your pocket possible in buying a house. We're going to do an FHA loan at $250,000, which is the average home price. Okay, so 3.5% down at a 3.5% interest rate about, you are looking at, and this is a $250,000 house, you're looking at around a monthly payment of $1,900 a month. So obviously, like I said earlier, the less amount you put down, the higher your payment's going to be. But that's kind of ballpark for Lubbock. Obviously, if you want to shoot for the moon, you're going to go $350, $450, $550. Please call us if you do. But it's going to differ drastically. We just kind of want to give you a generalized idea of what these prices are going to be.
Shopping in that average range from $150 to $250, you're going to look to spending anywhere from $1,000, $1,100, all the way up to $1,900 to $2,000 a month.
Yep, and we're kind of, for a house, there's a lot of variables, but 3 2s, the higher you go, the more bang for your buck you're going to get.
That's where you have to call and tell us
You need to call us first, duh. So yeah, but if that's just kind of some general info, but like we said, if you are wanting to go higher, we'd be happy to accommodate. But the prices are going to change. We wanted to keep it in a ballpark of what the average is. So obviously 350, 450, 550, 650, going to be a lot different.
So another good point to talk about here that Andrew is going through, when running these numbers, a spot where Zillow and apps like that get a little tricky, there's always that you're shopping, you see this $500,000 house, and you're like, your average monthly payment should be $1,300
or whatever.
What they're doing in that's a little bit tricky. Of course, they're just trying to get you to hit that reach out button to get something flowing there. They're assuming that you're putting 20% down they're just assuming everything at the most pie in the sky, best case scenario. These numbers that we're throwing out here are going to be a little bit more realistic, keeping you more true to, if you are putting that 20% down, that may be a more accurate number, but typically we see people on conventionals putting 5%, 10% down.
Yeah.
That's gonna, of course, raise that monthly a little bit. So be careful with those estimates on monthly payments and stuff, because they're giving you the absolute best case scenario.
That's a really good point. We don't want to crap on Zillow. We kind of
Zillow's all right.
We like Zillow. It makes our lives easier because people send us houses on Zillow. I like this one. I go, okay. Yeah. But the Zestimate, you cannot trust it. It can be very off. Yeah. That's why you need to talk to us. They're assuming, and Zillow actually just got into a huge, not lawsuit, but they lost a ton of money because they were buying up a ton of houses based on the Zestimate, and then they were underwater on all of them because they were way overpaying because their estimates were all wrong. And that's how their algorithm works. So just don't trust the Zestimate every time. I've heard a lot of clients say, well, the Zestimate says this, well, the Zestimate, well, hey.
Reach out to a trusted
professional realtor. Anyway, what a wonderful video. We did good again. We're really getting on a roll here, me and Jaden are. But yeah, we love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. It really is the best. And I guess we'll catch you on the next one then.
Next week.
Boom. Bye.